Hi, I'm Dave Poland. I'd like to welcome you to Portland Film Beat. Tonight, I have with me Conan Stevens, who's in a local production called Runestone. He plays Ruther Wolfgrim. Sorry, I already screwed that up. He was in The Hobbit. He played Bolg. He was in Game of Thrones. He played Gregor Clegane, also known as the Mountain. And in the next year, he has 4 films coming out: Skin Trade, A Man Will Rise, Mystic Blade, and Son of God, which is actually a Bible thing that already showed on the History Channel, but they're re-editing and they're going to show it again. Is that right? And with me also is Sterling Fyock. He is the production designer for Roads End Film. Thank you guys for being here. Conan?
Glad we could make it.
Well, Conan, tell us a little bit about yourself. You've got an accent, so where are you originally from?
Actually, I don't have an accent. Everyone else has an accent.
Okay.
I'm from Australia, originally, Sydney, and left 9 years ago to follow my dream as an actor, and been living in Southeast Asia, and I haven't picked up that accent, thank God.
Here you go.
I'm 7 feet tall. I used to be Australian professional wrestling champion.
Oh, really?
While I held the heavyweight belt, I was actually working with Sydney Dance Company in the ballet. I think I'm the only ballet dancer to hold the heavyweight wrestling title.
So you wrestled and ballet dance?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Previously.
Well, that's a kind of an eclectic mix of physical talents, I would say.
It sort of goes together because they're both choreography. You know? If I've destroyed anyone's illusions that wrestling is anything else, I'm sorry.
And Sterling, where did you train? Where did you get started in film?
Well, I've done a number of films over the last 20 years, various sizes, 20 years, maybe 30. And I've been doing a lot of art design. I went to school at the Art Institute of Portland. That's why I moved up here.
Okay.
And I've recently returned to film after a hiatus into corporate because I got greedy and wanted a big check. So
Right.
now, returned to film, I'm coming as production designer on the Runestone project for Roads End Films.
Right. And the costumes, I've seen the costumes actually on the webpage and elsewhere. And the costumes on Runestone and some of the other things are pretty awesome. And you're the one who designed all those and put them together?
Worked with my team to design them.
Okay.
So we have a really strong team of dedicated, talented people who are paying a lot of attention to period styles.
All right. So Conan, what was your favorite character that you've played? Because you've played a number of characters.
Oh, goodness. In a non-professional way, I first went to Thailand 9 years ago now, and I got on a French film as a pirate. And we were stuntmen, and we didn't really do some more background characters with fighting and swashbuckling and all the rest of it, and drinking. So to get in character, I would go out to the nightclubs till 5 a.m., come back, shower, go to breakfast at 6, and turn up on set in character with a hangover.
There you are.
Unfortunately, things are getting more professional now, and I can't do that any longer.
Well, my next question was how do you prepare for a role? And you just told us how you prepared for that one. I'm sure that for Runestone, that's not true.
No, this is very different.
And so your character in Runestone, can you define that character for us? Because we're going to talk a lot about Runestone.
Okay, he's 7 foot tall, muscular berserker, and luckily I fit that role. And he's not a berserker in the fact that he's crazy. It's more of a tool he uses to get what he needs when he needs it.
Okay, right.
So more of an intelligent character.
Well, he uses it as it's an opportunity. He uses it as an opportunist to use that.
Yes.
Opportunity, right? Okay. And so, Runestone is your current project. Can you tell us about it? Tell us a little bit of the premise of of Runestone.
Probably better for you, Sterling.
Sterling,
Sure.
go ahead. You can tell us about that.
The premise of Runestone is based on epic sagas that we have left behind by the Norse word of mouth and written by Christian churches, because the Norse didn't really write that stuff. They wrote plenty of other things, but they didn't really write about their adventures.
Okay.
And so we're taking
More of a Viking type thing in a nutshell.
more of a Viking type thing, exploring the new world, but less as Viking, more as Northmen with their families and a migration,
Okay.
looking for a new place to call home.
All right. And what appeal will it have to audiences? Because this is going to be actually an episodic.
Yeah.
Is what you're hoping for.
It's a
You're shooting
television
the
series.
pilot.
Yeah. Shooting a pilot next week, starting next week. It is a 5-year story arc set in a new world with Native Americans and Norsemen interacting on daily levels across the challenges that they have to create a new civilization for themselves here while interacting in the various ways that they were going to with the local inhabitants.
Okay. So who's going to direct
Robert Bruce. He's written and directed the first part.
Okay.
And we expect to get other writers and potentially other assistant directors on the side to help with B-roll and other part episodes.
Okay. And where's Road's End? This is done by Road's End Films.
Road's End Films out of Wilsonville.
Okay. And since it is a TV series, what's the basic arc for season 1?
Well, probably not going to reveal that now. But
Okay.
people are going to travel and they're going to arrive.
Okay, there you go. All right. So what sets Runestone apart from other shows in the same genre?
From every genre that we've seen in the Viking shows, the Norse shows, they are portrayed as these meathead thugs, barbarians, screaming and yelling, butchering everything. And there's so much more to their civilization than that's what's portrayed.
Okay, great.
A lot of times they're a really diverse culture, and that culture hasn't been brought to the screen in this way before. And the natives that we're using also haven't been brought to the screen in this way before.
Okay, good. So it's bringing in more of a positive light.
Very more positive. I don't know if that's really a good way to say that. Much more positive than you've seen before.
Okay, well,
the costumes, as you've mentioned, are very colorful people. They're show ponies, they're peacocks. Both sides, the natives
really?
and the Norsemen, they want to be seen. They don't really want to fight everyone they see. I want you to recognize that I'm a Norseman. I'm successful. Look at all my pretty colors. Look at all my wealth.
Okay.
Leave me alone.
Right.
And that's what part of what Rother Wolfgrim's character is.
Okay.
He's almost an accessory.
Oh, I see.
So he dresses himself up as part of the show.
Okay.
As not the TV show, but as I'm a giant 7-foot guy. Don't make me fight you. I'll do it. It's fine. But let's not go there. So I'll rule through intimidation first, and trading and exploring. But
Okay. So, Conan, what is your favorite part of the filmmaking process? And you've been involved down there at Road's End Films for the past few days, correct?
For last week, yes.
Yeah, and you've been helping out with costumes and things like that, or pre-production?
As much as I'm allowed to, yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. So what's your favorite part of filmmaking?
Payday's pretty good. But
You know, that's the first time anyone's ever said that, but that is a great answer.
well, it's a lot of people think it's about the art and getting on and showing and being somebody else and getting in someone else's head and all this artistic stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a business. I enjoy the acting, but I also enjoy the business side of it, and that's what I'm graciously allowed to experience more with this one. I'm able to come in and watch what's happening and learn how the film is made as a creative process.
Okay.
That's more exciting for me. I've already written and helped produce one film previously in Thailand, and it did quite well for what it was, and I would like to learn to do more of that.
All right. So on your journey to doing Runestone, have you ever felt like giving up acting? Has there been any points in times? Every day, or just since you've been working a lot recently, what do you think?
Actually, I wasn't working too much recently. Several times. I've just been, this is,
Yeah.
I've sat down and did, I think it's called the Benjamin Franklin decision-making process, and you piece of paper, line down the middle, pros, cons.
Okay.
And just write down everything good and everything bad about what you're doing, and try and work out which is. And I basically come up with the pros, and even though the cons are pretty big, they don't come to much.
Right. We're going to get back to Runestone in a minute, but I kind of like to find out a little bit more about Conan before we can go on. So here's a question: have you ever done any bad acting?
Yeah, when I first started, everyone does. Okay. But I've learned to get around that, and sometimes the directors, especially in the Eastern films, they just see you as a big bad white guy, and they want you to overact or act like a
Big
child.
bad white guy.
Yeah, just I've learned how to get around that and give them what they really want. They don't know how to.
Right.
They don't know. When you show them, they understand, and that's what they want.
What is your least favorite thing about making films?
Waiting.
Waiting?
Yeah.
As an actor, sitting and waiting on set, right?
Yeah.
That can be kind of tiresome.
I heard a quote, it's attributed to John Candy: "We get paid to wait, but we act for free."
Well, I've never heard that, but I'm going to remember that. And Sterling, for you, what's your least favorite thing?
having actors wait.
So,
I want to keep going. I want the momentum up. They get in character. They get in scene. They do a great job.
And then
Let's
it falls.
keep going.
Right.
let's get the next set ready now.
Okay. What is your favorite part of filmmaking?
I just love creating.
Okay.
Come up with the idea, getting it down, and then starting to get it shot and in the can and in the post.
Right.
And then I like run away and I'm like, oh, next. I'm like, oh, let's ship that somewhere.
So when you went to corporate America, it was probably a very difficult time for you.
No, because I'm very driven in that.
Okay.
And so I'm very goal oriented. So it was do, and I helped build a large corporation to a larger corporation.
Well, that was great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not super exciting though.
All
Not
right.
creative.
Conan, what is your favorite film?
A film that I've worked in or film that I've watched?
Film that you watched?
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Okay. That was a pretty wild film.
I'm actually a fan of the book, and they followed the book quite well, but brainless entertainment. But I was on the edge of my seat. Oh my God, it's finished the first time I saw it.
Is that right?
I loved it. It was fantastic entertainment.
What's your favorite film that you were in?
That's actually a hard one. They're all different for different reasons.
Okay. Why don't we let you think about that for a second, and we'll get to Sterling. Sterling, what's your favorite film?
This might be a little odd, but I really, really enjoy Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's such a train wreck that I like that show, but I just find it so upbeat and positive that I really get engaged.
What was your favorite film then? Let's get back to ones that you were in.
Probably Bangkok Adrenaline. It's the one I co-wrote and helped produce.
Produce, right.
Basically because Sterling was saying we actually created the whole thing out of nothing and saw it through. And
So you got to see the whole thing through instead of just being the actor. You saw the
Yeah.
whole from cradle to grave kind of thing.
and wrote it. So the script was really easy for me. I remembered all the lines. But it was the process itself was very interesting.
Okay. Is there a common type of film genre that you relate to more?
Fantasy, science fiction,
Is that right? Yeah.
sword and sandal, sword and sorcery, yeah.
Okay. And you, Sterling?
Same thing.
Is that right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of creative stuff that goes on in those films.
A
I
lot.
mean, your costumes, props, and all the other things. So I can see where you really like that. And you seem to be doing a lot of films like that, so you're probably drawn to them. I can see that.
I actually chased those films on purpose.
Oh, is that right? Okay. You actually. How did you find Conan for Runestone? Were you part of that process?
I was part of the process. What we did is put a lot of actors' heads on walls, and we're looking through people, and we actually had someone else that we liked, and we're discussing him. And we saw a photo of this guy that we liked standing next to Conan, and I was like, well, who's that? Who's that guy that's taller and bigger than that guy, but has a better build for a Northman? Less bodybuilder, more plausible.
Okay. And then
Then we tracked him down.
Okay, good. If you could work with a director, what director would you like to work with?
That's a hard one for me. I've never really been. A lot of actors want to go on to direct later on. I don't really understand directing at this stage. I just need to work with more people until I work out what I actually would like. Obviously, someone like Martin Scorsese would be awesome.
Of course. Yeah.
But someone who's just experienced, I could learn from.
All right. And Sterling, who would you like to work with as an A-list type of
Give
director?
me 6 months with Joss Whedon.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us a film Josh Whedon's done so that the audience can.
The recent Avengers,
Okay.
the upcoming Star Wars.
Yeah, those ones have a lot of props and design and everything in them too.
Yeah.
They're pretty spectacular.
Off the page, fantastic.
You know, it's interesting you talk about directing. Michael Caine said that he likes to act and doesn't really want to direct, and the reason why is a director can make one film a year because that's how much time it takes them, where he can be in 3 or 4 films in 1 year by being an actor. And I think I understand why he's doing that. What do you consider the elements of a good film, and then again, what are the good elements of a great film to you?
Entertainment.
Okay.
It's just got to be entertaining. If I sit in a movie and it finishes and I go, oh, sorry. Already?
Yeah.
That was a good film for me.
Okay.
I'll hold off what I think is a bad idea. Maybe you have a question for that later. Or a bad film? Or
Yeah. You go ahead.
okay, bad film is one you sit there and you go, oh my God. No. Did they just do that, really? And it takes you straight out of the movie and you just like, just logic holes, changing weapons mid-combat, things like that.
And Sterling, what do you consider the elements of a good film?
Has to be emotionally engaging.
Okay.
You want to be you don't want to be challenged too much, but you want to be feeling a bond with the characters. You want to support them or hate them, love them, fear them, something.
All right. And who is your favorite A-list actor and why? What draws you to them as an actor? Would you like to work with them?
Probably Sylvester Stallone.
Is that right?
I'd like to work with him.
Yeah.
I've sort of followed his career. And again, when we did Bangkok Adrenaline, we actually had an offer to buy the script and to shoot it somewhere else. And Stallone did the same thing with, was it Rocky the first one? Was it Rocky or Rambo his first one?
Rocky was his first one, but Rambo was the one he bought.
Okay. So he did the same with Rocky. They wanted to use someone else, and he refused and took a much lower paycheck to actually film and be the star. And we had it wasn't the same scale, but we had the same opportunity at Bangkok Adrenaline to sell it and actually make some reasonable money.
Okay, good.
And we refused and shot it ourselves.
Well, there you are. Let's get back to Runestone for a minute, now that we know a lot about the two of you. There's almost all the other actors outside of Conan are from Portland, is that correct?
Almost all. We have
Right.
26 total cast of
Okay.
actors, and 4 of them are outside of Portland.
Okay. Can you name a couple of the Portland actors? Because a lot of people like to hear the names of local actors when they're in films.
Well, we've been having such a good time with Tim Harold recently. That's
Tim
been
Harold's
great.
a great guy. I was gonna
Katie
say his name.
O'Grady's another one.
Katie O'Grady's a
Drew
great guy.
Barrios, Josh
Barrios.
Rice,
I was actually in a film just recently with Drew called
Cecil.
Unthinkable.
Oh, sorry, Cecil Chica is in our cast as
I
well.
don't know Cecil.
He's a little further away. He's out of the Seattle area.
Okay.
And Tracy Conklin,
Okay. I don't know her either.
it's a guy, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He has long hair. He's native.
Is Robert Blanche? I saw his picture up there.
Robert Blanche is a new addition to the team.
Okay. Right. He's pretty well known. He's done a lot of television
Very
stuff.
popular in the area. Yeah.
Right.
Has a good following. Well liked in IMDb. Very positive attitude. Great energy.
Right. Right. Runestone is where's it gonna film on the coast? Do you have locations picked
We
out?
have a number of locations picked out, plotted, and ready to go. We're filming south of Cannon Beach.
South of Cannon Beach. One of the things I saw that was out there on the web today is that you're looking for A-frame type tents.
Correct.
And if, as an audience, you can contact them through info at Roads End Films. If you have some A-frame type tents, is that correct?
They're very specific, though.
Okay, well, they can contact you.
Yeah, they can
And-
contact me for 9th century A-frame Norse tents. Not white.
Okay, not white?
Not white.
Oh,
It bleeds
what
out on the camera too much.
Yeah, well, maybe they'd let you paint it.
Oh, then we're in.
Okay, we got to let them know that because people, you'd be surprised. But this show is about helping you get your production made, and if we can get people to help out, I mean, that's a great thing. Is there buildings or located down there already? I know that they have a cowboy town out in eastern Oregon. I don't know of anything down in south of Cannon Beach that I just can't. I know it's a lot of sand and stuff. I just can't picture.
Well, I'm being a little vague on the
Castles
location
or
on
anything like
purpose.
that.
And no castles.
Okay.
We're not going to have a castle. That's
Okay.
never one of our intentions. A city, yes, but we'll build that.
All right.
We're not going to have that to start.
Oh, you're going to actually go out there and construct a city, kind of like a
Norse settlement.
storefront, a front type thing.
Well, we'll probably be really immersive. We're taking a lot of lessons from other current productions that are doing really well. And they're finding that building the sets to be as real as they can is also cheaper, but allows them to have the actors act less. The actors get to focus on being an actor and doing their
Right.
character. Don't have to worry about, well, I can see the back of this wall.
Well,
and
the
it's fake.
environment can affect the actors then.
Yeah.
right?
So we're just trying to give them the tools they really need. So if you saw some of the stuff we've been doing, all our armor is accurate, our swords are accurate, our weapons are accurate. So we have safety training with them. We have CrossFit training with them. So we're going in a direction so that our actors get to focus on being who their character is and not focusing on, got to pretend my shoe's heavy.
Right. Well, that's great. Oh no, the environment should impact the actors, and the more it does happen, the better for all of that. Let's get back to a couple of the films you did. Son of God, which was some of these films, Skin Trade, A Man Will Rise, Mystic Blade, and Son of God. Are these television films, or are these going to actually be released into
cinema. Son of God's already been released. Skin Trade is with Dolph Lundgren and Bill Pullman.
Oh, Bill Pullman and Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
All right. I looked them up, and Dolph Lundgren is in one of the other ones too, isn't
A
he?
Man Will Rise, yes.
Okay.
That one's been delayed in production. We got rained out when we were filming. We've got to finish the final fights, but that was with Dolph Lundgren again, and I came back for Skin Trade to work with them again.
Okay. And Son of God, just so everyone knows, Conan plays Goliath, which is probably an awesome role to play.
Oh, it's fairly easy when you're 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I know, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a very well-known character worldwide and for centuries now. And Mystic Blade, what is that story about?
That's a friend who did a movie going back a few years now, and he wanted to fund it himself. So after we filmed it, he worked and saved and worked and saved and did post-production on it, and he worked and saved and worked and saved, and now he's at the point where he's looking for distribution.
All right.
Just action.
All right. And A Man Will Rise, can you tell us a little bit about that story?
That's a Thai movie where Dolph is our gang leader, and we basically get called to China, or Chinatown in Bangkok, going back 150 years or something.
All right.
I don't know where the Harleys come into it though, but and we go and act as hired men to take out Tony Jaa, the star of The Protector, and
Okay.
Tom Yum Goong, and I can't remember the other name that he was successful in.
I do remember the question I had for Runestone, and that is this a half hour or an hour long? Each episode an hour long, I would take it?
Hour long.
Wow, okay, that's going to be a lot of work.
We're really trying to add to the community
Okay.
as a whole, so we can have productions full year. So with Portlandia in town, the Librarian, and
Grim?
yeah, the short one. I can remember the hard ones, but yeah, Grim. We all have kind of a quarter-long season for
Right.
shooting, and so if we get another series going here, then we're going to bring a lot more stable jobs to families and incomes in this area.
Right. And so yours shoots over the summer, which Portlandia does too, but Grim and...
No, we want the fall. And
Okay.
the winter. We want the weather.
You want the weather, okay.
Yeah.
I understand that. It's going to be an hour long, and how many episodes are you planning? Hopefully get to have
12 episodes a season.
12 episodes a season, which is pretty good. That's going to be 2-3 months of shooting anyway,
it's
right?
It's pretty standard.
All right. Are you using high definition cameras like the Red,
We're
the
using-
Ari?
It's not really my department, but I believe it's called a Canon 5000D.
Okay, yeah, those are very good cameras. And so the camera people are local, I would take it, and so are
They
the
are.
sound people.
Crew is local. Cast is primarily local. We're trying to make, like I said, make more jobs for Oregonians, Northwesterners, so that we can create more of a feel, of a vibe, so we can be more successful as a whole.
All right. Conan, is he a recurring character, or is he a regular, series regular?
He's a featured regular character.
Are you a feature regular? That's good. And a lot of the other characters, are they just kind of recurring? Or are they mostly, is it going to have a lot of them on the show a lot of the time?
They're almost all going to be on the show all the time.
Is that right?
Because it's a community. The
Okay.
Northmen, they have a strong community, strong vibe. Now there's going to be splinters. That'll happen, and groups are going to go off, and I'm going to go farm over here, and I don't like you anymore. But then they'll have revisit back in.
Right. Every week will there be guest stars that come in?
Probably for a while.
Right?
It's not
People who
can't-
travel through or something like that.
Yeah,
and stir up
it's
some
a hard
trouble.
place to get to, but there's plenty of natives already here, far outnumbering the poor Northmen that are trying to set up a new home.
Okay. Right. So you are going to have a lot of Native Americans. Are you getting actual Native Americans to play Native Americans?
Very, very much so.
Good, because there's a
Casting
lot
very
of them around
carefully.
here. There are.
Right, and they have the right face. I don't mean anything against the natives, but there's a lot that have the big noses from the Cherokees or the Eastern
no,
tribes.
it's not.
And
I think it's great that you hire the local talent. I mean,
we've had fantastic luck.
remember Charles Bronson was an Indian in one film. I can't even remember what it was, but it was just hard to believe that it was back in the 70s or something.
Well, we recently did it as much as 2013 when we had the new Lone Ranger.
Oh, there you go.
There's another example.
Yeah,
so our natives are native. They're from the tribes that we're having them act for, or if not, they've been working with members of the tribe, so they're culturally sensitive to what's going on.
All right.
Our costumes are being made by tribe members.
Nice. Excellent. So we're going to run out of time here pretty quick. I'd like, Sterling, if we can start with you, give us give Runestone a bump here, if you can, for the audience, and tell
You
them
bet.
what you'd like to anything that we've left out? I know I went back and forth and up and down on everything, but
Well, Runestone's an epic saga set in a new world surrounding the adventures of Northmen and their families as they migrate to find new homes and new land and find lost ones and track down sagas that they've heard of and develop them.
okay.
And their interactions with the North American New World tribes that they're going to encounter.
Okay, great. And Conan, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Not really.
Okay.
What the viewers could do is go to Facebook, look for Runestone.
I think he put it up there on the Facebook page. He might have
Okay.
put it up there a few times.
And just go on and like the page so you can follow the progress.
Okay.
There's quite a lot going up. There's going to be pre-production videos, behind the scenes, how it's made, everything, interviews with the actors. There'll be quite a bit going up there.
So I know you don't know much about this, but I do have one last question. And is it a single camera, or is he going to use multiple cameras? Are they? You don't probably know that too much about that.
I do know.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Because I have to come up with, well, how many cameras are in this scene? Well, I got to have these sets dressed that way. So I believe the maximum is 3 cameras in any one scene.
All right.
But there's booms and there's dollies, and we have a lot of equipment we're
Right.
moving over.
Are you going to be using steady cams? I would think that's a lot of the modern way to go. Or is it going to be
There are
typically
Steadicams.
done from a tripod?
Most of the shots in our current production are going to be tripod and boom.
Okay.
We do have Steadicam rigs and we do have quadcopters, but they're not being deployed at this time.
Right. Quadcopters meaning the little remote-controlled copters.
Little is another word for them. Yeah, they're much smaller than a normal helicopter, but much bigger than the ones you get at Radio Shack.
Right. That's
Because
good.
they'll carry the red and not drop it.
So we're running close to being out of time here, and I want to thank Conan Stevens and Sterling Fyock. Sorry, I keep slipping on his name there. And I wanted to thank the audience for listening in to us talk about Runestone. I also want to thank at this time the director, who's Ellery Nelson. He does a great job in the studio. I also want to thank my wife, who's my producer. She does a great job helping me get this all set up and ready to go. And until next time, I would hope that you would shoot for the silver screen.